Hey,
Yeah.
Gina. How
Hey,
you
Dr.
doing?
Pulley. Hey, everybody.
How y'all doing? We're just so grateful to be able to come to you and share with you a life-changing practice. I've probably been doing vision boards for maybe 15 years. How about you?
Gosh, I'm amazed you can remember. Let's see. Whenever The Secret came out, pretty sure that's when I started my vision board.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this is a practice that has definitely worked in my life. And
Yeah, it's worked in my life too. Although, I would look at my vision boards and say nothing came to fruition. But when I look at them again, I'm like, oh, whoa. Yeah, it really did.
absolutely. So we're just sharing with you a practice that has worked for us, and we believe that it may also work for you. So we invite you to try it and to see how it can work for you. I think that when you kind of end one year and start a new year, you start thinking about, okay, what is this new year going to be about? What do I desire to bring into expression? What do I desire to bring into manifestation? What is it that I desire to experience this year? And kind of setting an intention about that. And the vision board process kind of helps you do that.
Yeah. And I, having grown up in, the business world, you tend to think to do the goals, the goal setting and some of that kind of stuff. My experience of goals is they're good, but the vision board just gives me, those are so they're just so tangible. Like they're so black and white, if you will, that I feel like the vision board allows me to have a more vibrant expression of what it is in Technicolor, not in just black and white words. So I prefer, and sometimes I do a combination of goals and vision board.
Okay.
But I prefer the vision board because it causes me to go to a deeper level.
Yes, and the vision board, what I like about it is that it's the words, it's the colors, it's the pictures, and for me, it just goes deeper.
Yep.
The goal was just this, but the vision board helps me get to why this goal is important.
Yep.
And it puts it in the context of the greater good of my life, as opposed to just accomplishing this task.
A task.
Yes, or trying to get this possession. It goes for me deeper into how this is going to fit into the greater good of my life.
Yes, definitely. It definitely takes it to that deeper level. And my experience with vision boards is that all of us are different in the way we learn. But I think all of us, even if we have a different, like the auditory learning or the tactile learning, I think vision boards can encompass all of that. Because I think we're all visual anyway, to some degree. So
gives us all of those learning modalities to pull on all the different aspects of ourselves so that we can really be positive and productive and really manifest the good desires of our heart. Because that's my belief. I believe we've got the good desires in our heart, but it's how do I bring it into expression? How do I manifest it? How do I get it from out of here to out there?
Yep.
Where I can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, feel it, where I can experience with my senses. And so to me, a vision board helps me do it. Now, I kind of see the vision board as like a culmination of my spiritual practices. So when I do a vision board, I normally start with a word. My word for this past year was complete. That was my word. And then I kind of put all my spiritual practices around that word. So once I get a word, and that takes stillness and silence and meditation. Okay, Spirit, what is the word that you desire for me to kind of focus on this year? Because to me, the white stone word and the vision board, they all kind of work together. It's kind of like, well, let me go back a little further. It's like the burning bowl,
what you're releasing,
what I'm releasing, what I desire to bring into expression in my letter, which we had in our last video, and then my word, and all of those things kind of culminate with the vision board. So I say that's more of a cumulative effort.
Absolutely. And I think having worked with you and through this for so long, I mean, in the if any of you ever read The Secret or have done a vision board, oftentimes they just tell you to, get a bunch of magazines, open them up and look through the pictures, which is great. I mean, that's a great place to start. I just recognized that wasn't getting necessarily that deep desire of my heart. It was getting the surface desire of my heart. And so when you introduced to me, let's, and this year became very clear that there were the burning bowl, the releasing what's not serving, the letter to God. The letter to God is the start of the vision board. And then last year I added my word for last year was genuine to my vision board. And then everything on my vision board was a manifestation or a representation of that word. And so I've been working with my word for the year. It's not one word, it's two words, but I guess it can be one word if I put it all together. And that is be you, but be you till full. So it's like, be you, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. So I can actually be, because that's my way of reminding myself, being me is how I am fulfilled. Being that real me that God intended, that God created in my unique expression is where the fulfillment actually comes from. So that's where I've now grown in consciousness. But when I first started vision boards, it was just cutting pictures out of the magazine and here's what I want. And it was a lot of, I want a car. It was a lot of possession stuff. And I moved from possessions to what do I want to, that was kind of like the have. And then I moved from what I want to have to what do I want to do. And then the more I learned and grew in consciousness, it really starts with who do I desire to be? Because it's in the being that I get to do. And when I do, I have.
Yes.
So it's been an evolution. And I know everybody, is at different levels. So we're going to show you different ways to do it. And we really desire and encourage you to start wherever you are. So if going through magazines, if this is your first vision board, just go through magazines and we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But if you've done several of these, you may be ready to take it to a different level and we'll share some of that as well.
Exactly. So I'll share one from 2019. You see this 2019.
Yes.
It's got
It's trying to jump off the page. Did you do this one? It's zooming off the page.
So what I did is my word for 2019 was contentment. And so you can see here that I had a theme song, because with the vision board, this is really like a reminder. It's something to remind you and to keep, for me, I see it as a reminder, keeps me focused.
Yep.
So I can veer off here or veer off there, but I'm coming back to the vision, back to the word, which was contentment. And then I have a song about contentment. I know who I am. I also have some affirmations and denials about contentment, a scripture about the contentment, a denial, and an affirmation. And then I had areas of contentment in my life. And so that's where you see the different colors and the circles. And then I had the areas of contentment, and then I had pictures that reflected those areas. And so this is how I brought this into expression. And so every day I kind of looked at the vision board. Every day I played the song, the sound. Every day I did the denial, the scripture denials and the affirmation to build consciousness around it. And it's a good visualization. So it's like it brought into place all the spiritual practices of stillness and silence to get my word, the sound with the music. I shared my vision board with other people, another spiritual practice of sharing with other people's the scriptures, denials, and affirmations. It brought that into place, the visualization and the visuals of what that looked like for my consciousness. And so this is how, I did it then. I had a big focus on family and contentment and really define what it meant for me. Because even if you have a word, it's important that you define what that word means for you so that you're working off of your own definition and not somebody else's definition of what that word means for you. So for me, just to review with the vision board, it starts with the stillness and the silence with getting the word, then getting a color. I have a color for the year, I do a color on this one. No, I didn't do
I
a
don't
color
see a
on this
color.
one. I think that's the next one. Where I had to start with the word, defining the word, scripture, denials, affirmations, music is where I was in 2019, just with the vision board with pictures that reflected these ideas. Okay.
Yeah. Did you do sometimes on the back? Did you do it? No. So sometimes on the back, and I've seen this, and we'll see this soon. On the back, oftentimes, or in a corner, we always encourage you to say this or something better, because oftentimes, even though you're going into stillness and silence, even though you're getting that direction, I mean, why limit it? There's no limitation.
So Gina, why don't you share?
So I did not bring a physical, I have several. What I have switched to is not a physical representation like a cardboard, because I am on my computer so much. I chose to switch to a digital vision board, which when I share my screen, why is it doing that? Oh, there we go. I will show you my screen, and I'll see if I can show you my desktop. Now, when I do this, you're going to lose sight of Dr. Pulley and I for a second. Let's see if I can make this happen.
We're still there in the corner.
We're still in the corner, and hopefully people are seeing. I don't see it. It's not showing. Okay, I've got another way to show you. Let's do it this way. I'm going to stop the share for a minute, and I've got a different way of showing you. But in the digital one, all you have to do is, if you have PowerPoint or whatever you have, whatever tool you have, you will just find pictures in the, now let's see if it'll let me share that. You find pictures online, that's what I did, or if you have a picture of a magazine article or something like that that you like, just take a picture of it, you can upload it to your computer. Usually I find anything online.
You just Google.
Google, yep, for image. You can go into Google and Google the image. And this is, hopefully they can see it. We're not seeing it right now. But this was my vision board for 2020, or this is my vision board for 2021. So my word is genuine for 2021. And then these are all the other things that when I was being genuine, I would get the joy. I reminded myself that genuine prosperity is health, harmony, and wealth, which is what we're learning in Kingdom. I was working on helping companies become more profitable, which that one I put on there with a different context, but it's been interesting to see how vision boards work. I thought I was doing it for one company, and I wasn't, it didn't manifest in that company. However, I have done that in another company. So, hey, God has God has its own, like, God's got God's own way of manifesting things. And the cool thing is there's something on here I've recognized. One of the things I've just recently recognized, even though I knew this, is to be very intentional and detailed to some degree of what you're looking for, because, or what you're desiring to manifest. Because like this 350K income, I didn't put like per year. I just put, it was very general. So, hey, I probably generated $350 of income, maybe just not for me. $350,000 of income, maybe just not for me, but for some of my clients. So we, you want to be very specific and very clear, because Spirit's going to do what Spirit's going to do. And the more, it's God's plan, and the more intentional and detailed and specific we are about what that desire is, the better it is. Like deep sleep is another one. I get really deep sleep for about 4 hours. I realize that's not what I was really looking for. I'm looking for uninterrupted restorative sleep. Like, so those are just some examples of how many hours that ends up being about 7 hours.
Okay.
So, it's I got it. I got deep sleep. I just didn't fully express what that meant. So you were kind of talking about that. Be very clear what it means. That's where the
spiritual practices come in to help you really be clear. And my recommendation, Gina, is that people not try to do this in one session.
Oh no.
That a lot of when I've gone to vision board workshops, it's like a party kind of setting, and you got the magazines and the music and the pace, and you just kind of, boom, I got my vision board, here it is, it's done, and then put it up there. I'm really recommending that you really work with it. To really, I found that the more that I've worked with it and to bring it into expression in here, because everything is created twice, first in mind and then in manifestation. So the more time I spent thinking about it, meditating on it, breathing with it, the more I was able to be clear. And the more clear I am, then the better able I am to manifest. So I'm really suggesting like a 21-day process. This is airing January the 8th. And so I'm recommending that you take 21 days, to really be in that stillness, be in that silence, meditation, mindfulness, breathing, journaling what comes to you, the ideas that come to you. And then we'll come back together on the 29th, and Gina will kind of walk through actually putting it together. But before you put it in paper, before you do something tangible, I'm inviting you to do the mental, emotional, spiritual work within your soul. So it's not just a board, it's not just a piece of paper, but it's something that you think about, that you feel about it. It's something that has gone through all the different aspects of your soul, so that you're really being it, as you said, doing it and having it, as opposed to, oh, here's my vision board.
It's a completed task. And so, Dr. Pulley, for those people that may be watching this, that may not be familiar with our stillness and silence, or even haven't really understood that process that you taught me, in the way that you do the stillness and silence, what I call, then dump the junk, then you go into a focused meditation, and then come out hearing, that's a very, very important practice to leverage when you're doing your vision board. And so what that looks like, you want to describe that, or you want me to?
You can.
Yeah. So it looks like you go into, you get your phone, get alarm clock, whatever, and you're going to go into a quiet place, a still place. I put a timer on. Dr. Pulley told me it's 7 minutes. Ultimately, the goal is 7 minutes, because that's divine completion. And 7 minutes, if you're first starting it, is going to feel like torture. So start with whatever number works for you. If it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, because what you're doing is building that muscle. You're building that muscle of being able to sit still. And that's just to sit still and like really connect to what's going on in your mind and see what's happening. And then once you come out of that stillness, this is a very important piece. Start what I call dumping the junk, which you're writing down everything that's in your mind. Because if you're like me, I'm always processing information. There's a lot of stuff going in my mind and in my brain all the time. I'm always trying to solve. And so being able to dump a lot of that out now gives me that clear channel to go back in and get that real answer from spirit, not the filtered through my analytical mind. And then you go into, after you've done that, go back into another, ideally 7 minutes of silence. But this time you go in with a question, right? You go in with a question that says something like, okay, spirit, what do I desire? Who do I desire to be this year? If you're doing your word, what word represents who I desire to be this year? And that's going to manifest what I desire. What do I desire to do this year? What do I desire to have this year? And listen for the answers, and then journal what you hear.
Exactly.
And journal unedited what you hear. I'm going to encourage you to do that. Because you might, if you're like me, you start rationalizing. Oh, I could possibly do that.
It's just for you. It's not being graded. It's not for anybody else to see. But this is your process. As you said, Gina, the first time up to 7 minutes of just stillness and silence. And as you said, that's sometimes can be counterculture, because we're so used to moving and thinking and doing, and then journaling. And then going in with a question, and then journaling again. So that process will help you get clear about what your one word is. And any ideas that come to your mind, journal them. And that will help you with your vision board because you have ideas, you have concepts, you've done some envisioning before you're trying to vision and visualize. You've done some envisioning. What do I see and hear and feel inside of here? So therefore, it's really clear. It's really specific.
Very specific.
It's detailed. It's intentional, because the more clear you can be, the greater you can manifest.
Yeah, and what I added last year when I was doing mine, because it occurred to me that I was putting, I was going through that process and I was putting all these things on my board. And what I didn't realize is I still had some underlying soul work to do for me to be able to make the thing I put on my vision board believable. Like I could hear what spirit was telling me, but then there was sometimes something caught in my soul. I was feeling a certain way. Oh, I had a thought. Oh yeah, sure. I can't really achieve 350,000. I've never done it before. Why would I do it now? And so the other process of this 21 days is once you kind of get through that process, you have the ideas that are coming from spirit. I start going in and looking and saying, okay, what do I think about this? What do I feel about this? You know, do I have any perceptions that I need to work through? And, you know, am I willing to take the action to do this? Now, you don't have to get too much into that, depending on where you are in consciousness. The key is, if you've never done a vision board, just do one first. Just do one. If you've done it multiple times, bring in that layer of really processing through your soul what that vision board feels, you know, what do you think about it? What does it feel like? What do you see about it? What do you say about it? And are you willing to, you know, do the work?
Now, I did another vision board. This was for 2020. Okay, this is a combo deal.
Oh yeah. So this is church and you?
No, what you see is you see my vision board for 2020 where it says 50.
Yes.
When we were there together.
Yep.
And I did a vision board about 50.
Yep.
And then I kept building off of that vision board for the next year, which was 51. And I continue to build off of it.
Yeah.
And so I'm inviting you that if you've done a vision board before, look at the previous one.
Yeah.
Before you start with this one, you know, to look at your previous vision board and then to work with that and to see, okay, what did I manifest?
Yeah.
You know, what did I not manifest that I need to keep working with? And so this one was like a spiritual practice kind of, and I'm gonna see if you can see this one. Can you see this one? Yeah.
This one flat?
This one flat. Yes, this is the one flat. So with this one flat, for 2021, the word was complete. Then I had a scripture. I am complete in Christ, who is the head of all principalities and powers. I had an overarching denial, which is there is nothing missing, broken, or out of place in my life. Then I had an overarching affirmation. I am perfect, whole, and complete. A theme song, Let Me Be Spiritual by Donald Lawrence. Then I had the number. I'm also into numerology. So what number year was this? It was an 8 year. And 8 means achievement, balance, success, task, completion. Then I had a color that I focused on. And my color for 2021 was white for purity, perfection, wholeness, and completion. Then I had some intentions that I had. The visions fulfilled, clear direction, knowing that it's already done, the mission is already accomplished. Then I did some things that kind of build those things out. When things are balanced, they create an environment for stability, creativity, and productivity. Then I also had a biblical figure, a figure from the Bible that I kind of focused on. That was Epiphas, which means lovely, chemicalization, that when that Christ is come up in us, that there's going to be letting go of any type of punishment, letting go of any type of pride. And then I had an overarching goal with licensure in Florida. So it took the spiritual practices that we do, numerology, color work, you can bring other things. And then you see these hearts that instead of just having pictures, that I cut out hearts in different colors and put them in the form of a heart. Just showing you different ways that that you can do it. When you're building, that it's a constant building of your life. It doesn't have to be, well, just forget last year and let me just start over this year.
Right, because we know divine timing and divine order, sometimes it's just not the right time for things to manifest. Absolutely. And if it still resonates with you, that doesn't mean you can't carry it forward. It doesn't mean you've failed. Sometimes I think if I don't achieve something, I failed. No, that just means it wasn't my time to do it right in that. Bring it forward. If it still resonates. Sometimes, you know, I'm looking at some things now and going, I don't know if that resonates anymore. Or maybe I'm being taught we were talking about what lesson did I learn? What lesson did I learn or not learn with that not coming to fruition?
Exactly.
So it's really good to reflect back if you have done one, and then bring forward, or call the year complete, bring forward, show gratitude for what happened, and then plan for what's coming forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to share?
No, I just know it's a very powerful practice. Let me say this. If this is your first time doing it, I'm going to encourage you to figure out what way you desire to do it. So often I'm a person that is like, just tell me the right way to do it. No, there's no right way. There's no right way. The right way is your way, connecting to spirit, making sure the answers are coming from spirit. And whatever way you do that, I use stillness and silence. We encourage that process. Mm-hmm. If you get yours through your divine inspiration through other means, then do that. Don't get caught up in like tactics and doing it right. I will come back and share how it all kind of culminates for you to create, tangibly finish it and complete it. But today we just wanted to show you ways of doing it. Just let spirit take over, not your head.
Yes,
for sure.
To really be able to lead from your heart center, coming from spirit, and knowing that God has a plan for you.
God has a plan.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're going into the stillness and silence, or however you're inspired, it's just that plan becoming clear to you. Mm-hmm. And God says, I know the plans that I have for you. I know the thoughts that I think concerning you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to bless you and to prosper you, and to bring you to an expected end. Mm-hmm. So we thank you so much for being with us on our introductory information about vision boards. Again, I encourage you to come back on January the 29th. That's 21 days from now, at 7:30 a.m. And Gina will go through details about how to put it together. But really, let's put it together in your mind. Start thinking about things and working it through within you, and jotting down notes, and then come back and bring it all together and have a finished product.
Absolutely. And enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the process.
It's not the product.
It's not the end process. It is absolutely the process. It's not about, it's about how you get to putting stuff on the board and what it does inside of you and inside of your consciousness and your confidence. Like, there's so much in the process, which is why I like what Dr. Pulley and I have continued to do and morph it from being what we considered an event, right? Where it's just a party, to recognizing, oh no, this is a process. This is a process of unfolding God's plans for you for this coming year.
Absolutely. All right. We love you and we bless you.
Love you. Thank you.